that is my next question, how would you, like, there's something known as no free lunch theory, right? So someone would have to pay for the privacy-preserving techniques. Do you think the involvement of government would incentivize companies such as Private AI to build privacy-preserving products that would reflect the privacy as the default nature in the digital sphere as it should have been all along?
Regulations, of course, play a huge role in adoption. The GDPR, for example, gave rise to a whole segment of technology that did not exist just 10 years ago, right? So yes, governments play a huge role here. Policy is definitely one of the best ways to go when it comes to getting companies to adopt privacy. Ultimately, there is more of an understanding from companies that privacy is a big advantage. DuckDuckGo, for example, would not have gotten to its size had it not been tuning privacy. Signal and Telegram, also their advantages are privacy. And when you have that advantage, you do get that the base requirement of users to start growing the applications and then increasing those features, hopefully eventually to match those of the bigger players.
Yeah, but I'm struggling here, Patricia. Like, help me to understand this thing. For example, I'll talk about in India, okay? So I'm not really sure about the landscape and the user landscape in Canada, but what really happened, but we can extrapolate the thing, I believe. Why would I mean, what I've noticed is that people are very conservative when it comes to technology. They really don't want to change. They really don't want to switch to a better application when they are all offering privacy. So how would you, let's say Private AI, or any other company focused on privacy-preserving computation techniques, incentivize customers? I'm not talking about businesses. Obviously, they do know. I mean, they will have to abide by GDPR, CCPA, or else they will be fine. But what about the average Joe? How would you incentivize them? Are you only dependent on some catastrophic events such as Roe v. Wade being overturned, or is there some kind of education that could be given to them, or some kind of marketing?
That's a great question. So I think one of the major benefits of the GDPR was actually also the educational benefits, because privacy started getting in the news more and people started understanding what kind of rights they should expect from their data. I do think that catastrophic events are what really triggers people into action, but it does, because privacy is already in the vernacular of a lot of people, I wouldn't say necessarily the average Joe, that has already meant that companies with privacy integrated have had that competitive advantage. The kind of things that the average Joe would pay attention to, I think, are more catastrophic events.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, so basically what you're trying to say is that there was a time when catastrophe was the only thing that would trigger people, but now there's more than that. There is some kind of push from the government side, thank God for that, for people to realize how important their data is, and they should not be sold, right? So I guess that's a very good point. And there's actually, the reason I asked this question was because few weeks ago, I wrote an article, which I share with you as well, Privacy is a Right versus Privacy is a Product, right? So they're basically, and I got a lot of backlashes for that thing. So, I guess most people misunderstood that what I was trying to say is that they may have misunderstood that. I'm saying that privacy should not be as a right. No, I was particularly saying that privacy is a right, but someone will have to pay for it, right? So, like company like yours, right? So, we'll have to come up with products like with core privacy-enhancing technologies, like perhaps, let's say, homomorphic encryption, or perhaps secure multi-party computation, right? So, the intent, what I was trying to say is that there is a payment that has to be done, and someone has to pay for it, right? So. And what I truly believe is, if companies do come and realize this thing, they will have an advantage over a market which is still unprecedented. And I'm really glad for you that you actually embarked on this journey, there is obviously first comers advantage to you. So yeah, congratulations with that.